Hey you guys. Okay, this is part of my cleaning up the engine bay housekeeping addendum. Um, the intake on the 3.5. They're painted and they're kind of black looking. Now I had somewhat polished this at one point. I just never finished. You can see the scratches still in there. I'll show you what I used. I used a one of these guys. With the little sanding attachments. I didn't actually use the sandpaper yet. I used this. I use these little Scotch-locs. You can get them in different sizes and whatnot. But I used these guys according to what their grit was. There was a stronger grit one that I've apparently utilized all of them. It's like a brownish, goldish color. Anyway, but then I sanded with the regular red and then went into the blue is supposed to be fine. And I took it as far as I was comfortable with this stuff. So now I'm moving on to the actual sandpaper portion of it to get all the scratches out and to clean it up. All right, kind of set y'all up out of the sanding zone, but where maybe you guys could see a little bit. Like I said, I don't exactly remember what I had used, but I'm starting with 400 on this guy. I sprayed it just a little bit with some mildly soapy water. And those are damp towels so that if any wind, from the drill doesn't blow them away and kind of captures the aluminum crap that blows around, so I don't get it all over the inside of the engine bay. Let's see, I'm basically going to go over it with 400, 600, 800, 1,000, blah, 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 blah. But there's our initial starting of it, just so y'all have an idea. And as you go, you want to pause as you're doing it and clean and kind of check your work. Yeah, I'll give you a little close-up. Schmutz down on there. So I've got to level everything out and clean it up. So, like I said, I'm starting with the 400. And you can see where it's kind of slung crap around. But at least it's not getting all over the engine. All right. Here we are after going pretty hard with the 400. I think I've got everything mostly leveled out. I'm going to switch over to the 6. And then shortly thereafter with the 8. But I got all those dark spots out and it's starting to feel a little bit smoother. There's still a few defects, but I mean, we are talking about aluminum. That happens. I kept cleaning off the pad, but aluminum loads these puppies up pretty bad, pretty quick. So yeah, that's what's left of our 400. And of course, we started out all nice like that. And the battery's dying. Alright, here we are with our 800 completed. You see we're getting to the point where the scratches are finer and finer. There's still a little bit of artifacts up in there, but again, it's not going to be perfect because it is aluminum and I don't know if it's cast or exactly how they make these things. So you're going to come up with little issues like that. There's only so much you can sand it, especially around those little nuts in the corner. As it is, burn them down pretty good, more than I wanted to. I've got replacements, but still. Moving on to 1,000. Clean up, wipe down. And basically, I'm just trying to remove as much of the previous fragments and dust and stuff that'll clog up the next sanding disc. Here we are before we move on to the 2000. Back y'all up. There we go. Little by little, looking better. Now we're moving on to the 2000 grit. Much finer. I'm spending a little bit more time because I'm noticing some areas that aren't shining up, because you'll notice a shine difference. And I know that was bad English. A difference in sheen. Let me bring y'all in. Okay, as I said, you're going to notice a big sheen difference when you move into the 2000. See, we're almost there. I'm going to have to go back and work on this area. See, I've got some problem spots that are really showing up. Some gouging. So I need to go back and use a higher grit on that. See if I can't smooth it out and then step back up. You'll find that happens when you're sanding and polishing. No harm, no foul to go to a back step and work out any defects. Okay, I went back to 800, hit the corners, here, and here where I had some areas I wasn't pleased with. Then I went back, hit it with the 1000 again. Now I'm back on the 2000, hit those areas. Here you can see that artifact. They're gone. $3,000. All right, wiped it down. We're all uniform. Barely see any minor scratches in there. A bunch of hazing is about it. Oops, still got some schmutz. Kind of have a blah piece of aluminum right now, but if you could feel it, it's so smooth. Feels like glass. Super, super smooth and clean. So that's what we want before we polish. That's what we're using. And I go between like a cotton shirt material for something that's smooth like this, and then I've got these little flannel strips for doing things that require a little bit of extra abrasion, like the AC lines and whatnot. Usually just scoop a bit. Yeah, that's way more than we need, but we do have a large surface area. And spread it out and get to rubbing. And I guess conceivably you could do this with a machine, but I never have. We'll see how it goes. You could get a terry cloth pad and do it that way, or use like a mother's ball, I guess. I've never seen one of these polished, so I don't quite know how good it's going to come out. Your results are directly related to how much effort you want to put in. You don't have to take it this far, or you can go further. I don't like to take shortcuts and make it look like it's snap your fingers and it just happens. Try and show you all effort it truly takes. Took a minute to find my metal wiping microfiber, or metal polish removal, I should say. Now, let's see what our initial coat has done. We still have quite a bit of haze. Can't see the bulb as nice as I would like on these lights. Should be more mirror-like. I mean, it's good. Sorry, it's good, but you see it's still got that milkiness to it. Okay, I'm gonna try this guy, see how well that goes. All right, I added some schmutz on there, and we're gonna kind of schmutz it around before we turn this on and see what happens. Never tried this before. let's see. Well, I may have just hit the limits of this polish with this aluminum. It's definitely staying cloudier than I'd like. I mean, granted, a lot of that is the filming. I mean, she's definitely shiny. Just don't like the milkiness of it. I mean, again, that looks, you can read it. I'm just not a fan of how milky that looks. It may just mean that I need to sand it further down, but like hand sand it with a block to get rid of the swirls that the power tools introduced, and then go back and do it again. That may be what it is. That might be, you know, your eyes catching the refracting light within the reflection of those circles. Maybe the haze, you know, that's what you see. And the whole idea is to get all the scratch lines out, and we really didn't get all of them. Again, I mean, that's pretty dang good for aluminum. Nasty aluminum at that. So I'm going to call that good for the time being. We're going to see how well do those guys come out real quick. Little trick we always used with lines like that. Let's go ahead and put some of your polish on there. Take this. Heat and high effort makes all the difference with this stuff. Friction. Came out pretty shiny for a Yuki factory. Well, there you go. See that compared to what reflection? What reflection? So I'll futz with these lines and let y'all see the after. Okay, I've been futzing with it for a bit. Golly, the light almost makes it harder to... There you go. Now you can see it's shiny. All that. I mean, it's not perfect. Needs a lot more time put into it, but for the time being. And I did that a little bit, and then I was like, oh yeah, you know, down here. Intake's going to be in front of that. I did that guy a little bit. You can see he shines. So I stopped right there. You can see the line because it got down into the wiring. Again, I can always come back and do more, but this is just to kind of get things a little bit nicer for the time being. And I'll probably come in with a flap wheel or something and try and clean up this top area on this throttle body, make it a little bit nicer. But overall, that's where we are. And I'll, once the intake goes on, I will loop you guys back in for a final assessment of how everything looks. Okay, here's the intake now with the cover on and everything polished up, looking nice. I may decide to put red in these. I haven't decided. I saw a couple cool designs with these engine covers online. I do need to clean it up, but I'm going to be driving it, so you know how that goes. It's going to get filthy before I have to take it to the Hot Wheels show anyway. But yeah, that's how everything fits, how the intake sits. Everything is in there nice and tucked up. So I think that's an improvement over how it was with all the red couplers going down the side. It makes it look a little bit more finished, like it was designed and not put together by a bunch of janky parts like what I initially did. All right, that is it. Engine is complete. Yes, I still have the headlight loose. That way you guys can see how everything fits in there. I will put that back together, but I did want to go ahead and swap out to the clears and smoke them, so that would be a more uniform look instead of the black. So I figured, what was the point in putting it all back together anyway? You can see my little horn down there too. But yeah, we're not hitting anything. We're clear. We're good to go. And we've got our hydro cover on, so yay, don't have to worry about hydro lock. And I've never had any issues with water intrusion anyway. It'd be quite the puddle to get it up in there. So I'm not super worried about that. So there you have it. All right, take care.